Incredible 12-year-old deaf girl exposed a hidden truth to her single dad. What happened next was, in the charming, sun-drenched suburb of Willow Creek, life bustled with a rhythm so familiar it felt almost choreographed. Children played in the streets, laughter ringing bright like wind chimes in the breeze. But amidst this picturesque din, two figures stood apart. Mike, a devoted single father, and his 12-year-old deaf daughter Lily. Their bond mirrored the vibrant flowers swaying in the garden, the colors a testament to love and resilience. Yet, like a storm cloud looming overhead, financial hardship shadowed their lives, occasionally overshadowing their happiness. Every day was a new challenge for Mike as he fought to provide for Lily, working long hours with little pay. But when Lily brought home straight A's, those grades were like rays of sunshine breaking through the clouds. They reminded Mike that they could persevere. And Lily? Oh, she was a determined spirit, resilient and resourceful, navigating the world with tenacity. The comfortable hum of the neighborhood often faded as she immersed herself in her studies, her hands dancing across her notebook, crafting dreams with every stroke of her pencil. One ordinary afternoon, while researching for a school project on community leaders, Lily stumbled upon an earth-shattering secret in an old newspaper tucked away in the attic. Her dad was once a promising athlete, a star on the track, with a college scholarship just within reach. Her heart raced. It felt as if thunder cracked in her chest. She felt an ache for the dreams her father had sacrificed, dreams buried beneath the weight of responsibility. Yet that ache transformed into inspiration. She would turn their story into her project for the school fair, honoring him the way he deserved. In the days leading up to the fair, the atmosphere in their small home grew tense. Mike wrestled with pride and humility, knowing that the shadows of his past could threaten to unravel the carefully woven tapestry of their lives. He feared judgment, worries gnawing at him like a persistent itch. Meanwhile, Lily worked tirelessly, crafting her project into a vivid narrative of sacrifice and unconditional love, determined to showcase not just her father's past, but their present, built on immeasurable courage. Before we continue, I need to let you know about something important that's happening. YouTube has been making changes to the system, and many people are losing notifications from channels they follow. If you're enjoying the content, hit that bell and mark all notifications so you don't miss the next videos. And if you can drop a like, it really helps me with reach. Seriously, it makes a difference. Oh, let me know in the comments where you're watching from. I'm always curious to know who's on the other side of the screen. Now let's continue. As the school fair approached, emotions ran high. The gym buzzed with anticipation, thrumming like a tight string waiting to snap. Familiar faces gathered, whispers and judgments existing in the air alongside the smell of cotton candy and popcorn. Each smiled, yet few knew the whole truth. When opposing voices emerged in the crowd, Lily felt the current of anxiety shift beneath her. The critics, quick to seize the opportunity, pointed fingers at her father's struggles. But instead of crumbling, Lily, emboldened, stood tall. Her project illuminated their journey, revealing not just their story but reflections of others with similar struggles, hidden sacrifices of their own. As the fair unfolded, Mike watched his daughter rally against the tide of misunderstanding and see her kindling power ignite the crowd. Collective hearts swelled with unspoken connection. The stakes were not only about recognition, but about dignity and acceptance. With the event concluding, emotions hung thick as a fog, hearts thrumming with hope yet yearning for resolution. Mike, at the edges of the crowd, felt a flicker of pride warm him against the chill of uncertainty. After a lifetime of shadows, would he step forward? Would he embrace the truth, or would he linger, hiding behind what used to be? The edges of their story hung delicately, urging to unfold. The gym lights flickered above. The wild sounds of the fair buzzing in the background faded to a hum as Mike collected himself. His heart raced, and the weight of the world seemed to rest on his shoulders. He had stood back, blending into the crowd like a ghost, torn between fear and pride. But now, as the applause for Lily's project roared, he felt the stirrings of a decision, one that could change everything. Lily stood at the front, her hands moving gracefully as she signed to her classmates, her face animated with passion. Each gesture spoke volumes, weaving their story into something tangible, something that resonated. It was more than just a project. It was their life laid bare, filled with struggles, dreams, and a deep bond that nothing could sever. But as she finished, a ripple of whispering swept through the gym. A small group of students exchanged glances, their laughter sharp. "He used to be an athlete? Look at him now," one sneered, the tone cutting through the air like ice. Mike's heart sank. Gaze locked on Lily, his daughter seemed to sense the shift. He could see her small frame stiffen, her excitement tainting with uncertainty as she searched the audience, looking for him. Then, something shifted deep inside him. Was fear worth more than his daughter's voice? She had taken the first brave step by sharing their truth. Now it was his turn. He stepped forward, weaving through the crowd, his heart thumping louder with each stride. Eyes widened as he approached the stage, catching his daughter's glance. Her face lit up when she saw him, but that spark quickly dimmed as she read the expression on his face, an amalgam of nerves and determination. "Lily," he signed, his hands moving anxiously. "You did amazing." The words felt foreign on his tongue, but he knew they mattered more than his scattered thoughts. Her smile broke through the tension, and she signed back, expressing her gratitude, but the inspiration in her eyes blurred with concern. Mike reached the front of the stage, adrenaline pumping through him. He took a breath and turned to the crowd. "I used to think my past was something to hide," he started, his voice trembling. "But this is our journey, and what Lily has shown today is that love and sacrifice are the greatest victories of all." Silence enveloped the gym, every head turned toward him, eyes wide. "I may not wear medals, but I have something far more precious," he continued, locking eyes with Lily. "It's the unconditional love of my daughter, and that's worth more than any race I could have run." A hush settled, and he could sense the crowd shifting, the judgment melting like ice under the warmth of his confession. Encouraged, he continued sharing bits of his past, tales of sweaty training days, missed opportunities, and the ultimate victory of raising a remarkable daughter. As stories poured from him, the whispers quieted, replaced by a palpable connection. Mike saw understanding replace derision in the faces around him. This was not just about him, it was about every parent and child who faced adversity, who wrestled with their own shadows. They were not alone. The moment felt infinite, yet he knew they were on the precipice of something bigger. Giving himself a mental nudge, he took a deep breath and realized this wouldn't be the last time he would share. This was a starting point, an opportunity not only for himself, but a chance to inspire others like them. As Lily rushed forward to join him, her eyes gleaming with pride, he felt a surge of hope. Together they stood, two hearts intertwined in resilience. But Adrian, one of Lily's classmates, hadn't escaped unnoticed. He stepped forward, a smirk on his face, eager to provoke. "That's cute, but what if we just forget your past and look at what you've become?" The tension returned, thick and suffocating, like already begun rain clouds looming again. Mike caught Lily's eye once more, and her gaze shifted, fear and defiance intertwining. This time she would not hide. As she opened her mouth to respond, the world around them faded, their story hanging in the balance. Would this moment define them, or could it lead to something greater? Lily squared her shoulders, ready to face Adrian's taunts. The anxiety swirling in her chest was loud, but her determination was louder. She signed forcefully, her words clear despite any noise. "We are not ashamed of who we are." Mike felt a flicker of pride as she spoke her truth. The reaction from the audience was palpable. Whispers turned into gasps. People shifted, uneasy. He knew they were feeling the weight of her words, their uncertainty stark against her strength. Adrian's smirk faltered, and anger bubbled in his expression. "What good does it do to cling to the past? You're just a comeback story, and look where that got you." But Lily was undeterred. She stepped forward, her small stature now exuding a powerful presence. "If you look only at what I can't do, you miss who I am. My dad taught me that strength isn't just about winning or losing. It's about standing up no matter what." The gym fell silent again, her confidence striking everyone like a lightning bolt. For a fleeting moment, Mike thought he could see Adrian's mask of bravado slip. The moment crackled with tension, like the breath before a storm, a realization that they were witnessing something real. "Yeah, and you will never know how love can change a life unless you open your heart," Mike added, fueled by Lily's courage. His voice was steady now, carrying a strength he hadn't felt in years. The air shifted, a breeze echoing empathy where once there had been ridicule. It was almost tangible, like the first breath of spring warmth. The collective murmur of the audience began to rise again, this time infused with curiosity rather than mockery. "Who says their past is a burden?" Mike pressed on, the rush of hearing his own voice energizing him. "Listen to Lily." He gestured toward his daughter, who beamed at him, glowing with fragile joy. She nodded, surprise and hope flickering in her eyes as she felt the shift. "My signs tell a story of struggles and love," she signed passionately. "Every moment is a page, and our bond is the flame that lights the way." The crowd leaned in, captivated by her unyielding spirit. Mike could see parents squeezing their children's hands, recognition settling in their hearts. It wasn't just about him or Lily anymore. It was about everyone who had ever felt sidelined by their own battles. Adrian scowled, but the weight of his words began to dissolve under the warmth of the moment. As his bravado waned, Mike sensed the overwhelming power of vulnerability taking hold of the room. Suddenly, an unexpected voice broke through. "Yeah, well, maybe being a champion isn't just about medals," another student called out, stepping forward. It was Jamie, a student known for quietly watching from the back. "It's about how you inspire others." "Mike, Lily, you both inspire me," cheers erupted, overtaking the murmurs, as if the crowd had finally decided to break free from the chains of their own judgments. The applause surged, a wave of acknowledgement washing over the gym. Mike felt a rush of emotion. His heart brimmed with gratitude. This was a moment of transformation for them all, the awakening to a reality that was bigger than the individual. But Adrian lingered at the edge of the stage, his face a mix of confusion and regret. "You're still a loser, you know," he attempted weakly, but no one seemed to care. As the praises continued and Lily laughed soft-heartedly at the new support, the faint smirk on Adrian's face faltered almost completely. In that moment, Mike turned to Lily and signed, "It looks like our story is just beginning." She grinned back, eyes sparkling, and together they stood at the center of a bubbling, hopeful crowd. Yet as they basked in their newfound connection, Mike could feel a tightening in his chest, a worry blossoming. What would happen when the applause faded and the real world returned? Uncertainty loomed ahead, heavy as ever, but courage and love had forged a bridge tonight. And as the night sky stretched beyond the gym doors, Mike knew their journey had only just begun. What if this was only the first step? He wondered aloud, glancing at Lily, who was lost in her own thoughts. What would come next for them? In the glow of the moment, hope intertwined with unease, a question floating in the air. Would they keep finding the strength to face whatever lay ahead? The applause lingered in the air like a warm embrace, wrapping Mike and Lily in a cocoon of support. The echoes of cheers faded as the crowd began to disperse, yet the energy of the moment still pulsed in their veins. Mike could hardly believe how far they'd come in such a short time. "Do you feel that?" Lily signed, her eyes wide with a mix of excitement and disbelief. She was buzzing, and he couldn't help but smile back at her. "It's magic," Mike responded, his heart racing. "You showed everyone what real strength looks like." As students filed out of the gym, he noticed a few groups huddling together, chatting animatedly. Whispers of admiration flew around them, and he couldn't help but feel a swell of pride. It wasn't just about them anymore, it was a movement. It felt as if they had ignited a spark in everyone present, a spark that went beyond just their story. But as people began to leave, Mike's worry gnawed at him again. Would they remember this temporary glow? Would it change anything outside this gym? Eager faces turned to him, and he realized they were not just waiting for him to speak. They were hoping to be a part of something much bigger. "Can you keep talking?" Jamie, the quiet student who had stepped forward earlier, interrupted his thoughts. "What you said, it made sense. I think we need more of that." Lily's face lit up and she signed, "This is our chance to change the conversation. Let's do it." Mike glanced between the two of them. Could they expand the momentum from tonight? Would other students join them? His mind raced ahead, knitting the fabric of what could be. "Are you thinking what I'm thinking?" he asked Lily, inspiration lighting up his face. "Trainings, stories, events." Lily enthusiastically signed, her hands moving with excitement. "We can start a group to share experiences, to support each other." "Exactly." Mike couldn't contain his thrill, the worry loosening its grip a bit. "We can create a safe space, maybe even invite parents to join. We can all learn and grow together." A small crowd had formed around them again, listening intently. The shared energy danced through the air as students began talking over one another, inspired by the idea. They exchanged ideas of workshops, community outings, and chances to collaborate in a way that hadn't seemed possible before. Jamie stepped forward again. "This needs a name, something that captures what we stand for." "Unity and strength," one student shouted. "Together we rise." "Or how about voices of change?" another suggested, and soon the various ideas blossomed like wildflowers, painting the air with hope and possibility. Mike watched as they sprang from timid whispers to ideas filled with fervor. It was a whole new world unfolding, and he stood back marveling. But even amidst the excitement, he felt an undercurrent of concern. "Okay, let's figure out where to start, but we need to be careful about how we approach this. Keep it safe and supportive. No one wants to be bullied again," Mike cautioned, a serious tone threading through his voice. Nervous excitement hung in the air, but he could see resolve in their eyes. The strength he once thought fragile now shimmered like steel. Had their experience carved something deeper into their hearts? Had tonight truly changed who they were? As plans took shape, Mike felt a surge of hope pushing against the weight of uncertainty. Yet there was a gnawing question at the back of his mind. Would the outside world embrace this budding movement? Or would it be just another fleeting moment before the harsh realities returned? "Let's meet again in 2 days," he suggested. "This is just the beginning, and we have to keep the momentum going." They all nodded, caught in a wave of hope that felt tangible. As the last of them filtered out, frustrating doubts loomed over Mike again. Could they sustain this? He turned to Lily, and she flashed him a bright smile, revitalizing his spirit. Her eyes sparkled, and he could see she believed. Maybe, just maybe, they were ready for whatever came next. "What's the next step?" Lily signed, the fire in her heart unmistakable. Mike felt the weight of their shared journey lifting, but uncertainty still lingered. He realized this moment was just the start of something profound and deeply challenging. "We'll find out together," he replied, but the question echoed in his mind. Were they truly prepared for the trials ahead? 2 days came and went quicker than Mike had anticipated, almost as if the excitement surrounding their plans had wrapped them all in a whirlwind. As he stood outside the gym waiting for the rest of the group to arrive, his nerves danced within him. What if nobody showed up? What if they all were just caught up in the moment and now reality had set in? His thoughts were interrupted as he heard laughter and chatter approaching. Groups of students filled the hallway, their voices bright and eager. Mike could see Jamie and a few others dive into animated discussions, and for a moment he felt a wave of relief wash over him. Lily appeared, a bounce in her step, and waved enthusiastically. It was contagious. He couldn't help but return her smile, though uncertainty nagged at him still. They huddled inside the gym, where sunlight streamed in through the tall windows, illuminating their enthusiasm. "This place will be our hub," Lily signed, her excitement radiating. "A safe space to be ourselves." "Right. Let's brainstorm the first event," Jamie suggested, bouncing on the tips of his sneakers. "We should start with something inclusive." As ideas flowed, Mike watched each face light up. Thoughts poured out like a cascading waterfall. Sports events, art showcases, even a talent show where everyone could showcase their uniqueness. He felt his heart swell. This wasn't just a meeting. It was a start to something meaningful. "But how do we get people to come?" A hesitant voice piped up from the back. It was Sarah, a soft-spoken girl who often lingered in the shadows. "Social media," a boy shouted. "We can create a page, post stories, testimonials, and invite everyone to join." "But we must stay focused on our mission," Mike interjected. "Let's remember why we're here. It's more than just a gathering. It's about creating change." Lily nodded eagerly, translating for Sarah. She's right. We need everyone to feel safe and valued. The energy shifted. Everyone was nodding, filled with determination. But deep down, Mike felt the weight of the unknown. Would they be met with acceptance outside these walls? Or would the world react differently? As brainstorming carried on, Mike couldn't shake the feeling that a storm was brewing. They all shared the dream of a world without bullying, and they had the fire to push forward. Yet, what if someone tried to extinguish that flame? With thoughts racing, Mike interrupted. We've got a good plan, but let's also talk about what to do if things get tough. What do you mean? Jamie asked, tilting his head. I mean, what happens if we face opposition? We need to be prepared to handle negativity or pushback. The room fell silent. His worried tone hovered in the air, but Lily's reassuring touch broke it. She signed gently. No matter what, we face it together. Strength in numbers, we've got each other. Their eyes met, and he could see the unity shimmering. A powerful message filled the space around them, a collective promise to rise, even against adversity. With that spark ignited, Mike suddenly felt that maybe they could weather any storm. All right then, he declared, his voice resolute. Let's make sure we have a plan for everything. Every voice matters, and together, we're stronger. The conversation revived, now with purpose. Each suggestion brought forth more ideas, forging a strategy that was as robust as their newfound spirit. As they wrapped up, and talks faded, Mike caught sight of a poster on the wall. Together, we rise. It echoed in his heart. This wasn't just a catchphrase. It was their mission. And as they started to disperse, a shiver ran down Mike's spine when he spotted a familiar figure lurking just outside the gym. A shadow that loomed, one he thought he had left behind. Wait, he called, fear creeping back in. What if this confrontation interrupted everything they'd built? What if the past threatened the future? He took a breath, ready to face whatever was coming. But would the courage they found together withstand the storm of adversity threatening to break through? Mike's heart raced as he stepped toward the door, eyes locked on the figure lurking outside. Each step felt heavier, dread pooling in his stomach. It was Kyle, an old adversary from half-hearted memories. Kyle's presence was like a reminder of everything Mike was trying to escape. What do you want? Mike called out, trying to sound braver than he felt. The other kids paused, an awkward silence hanging in the air. Lily's hand squeezed Mike's arm, grounding him. She understood the unspoken message, the fear that was taking root in Mike's chest. Kyle shrugged, a smirk curling on his lips. I just wanted to see what the wannabe heroes were up to, he taunted, his voice dripping with sarcasm. Planning a little Save the World campaign? Mike felt a rush of anger. Anger he didn't dare vocalize. Instead, he pushed it down. He glanced back at Lily and the others. Their expressions were a mix of confusion and concern, yet they stood by him like a fortified wall. Actually, we're planning something great, Mike countered. He had to needle through the wall of doubt Kyle was trying to build. We're creating a place where everyone feels accepted, where there are no bullies like you. Laughter erupted from Kyle, cutting through the atmosphere like a knife. Good luck with that, he sneered. You think you can just change people? You're wasting your time. They're always going to be the same, mean and cruel. Mike inhaled sharply, the sting of Kyle's words igniting a fire within him. Not if we give them a reason to be better, he shot back. The words were fueled by the unity he had felt just moments ago with his friends. He stood tall, surprising even himself. What, you think you're going to fix everyone with some fancy event? Newsflash, Mike, people don't change. Maybe you're right, Mike replied, surprising himself. But even if we touch just one person, it's worth it. Kyle rolled his eyes, seemingly ready to walk away. But then he paused, his expression shifting slightly. You're gonna get hurt, man. You think they'll just accept you? Look at you, trying to be a hero. You'll end up back where you started, watching your back. Trust me, I know. To Mike's dismay, doubt crept back in. Would they really change lives? Would the friendships they were forming be enough? Worry gnawed at him, and he felt vulnerable. Lily stepped in front of Mike, signing fiercely. You don't understand us. This is our fight, and we will stand together no matter what. Her determination was palpable. This fierce resolve snapped Mike back to the present, reminding him of the goal. But in the space where hope had flourished, a chill spread, Kyle's threat hanging in the air like encroaching darkness. "Whatever," Kyle spat, taking a step back. "I'll be watching. Good luck trying to save your little world." He turned and disappeared down the hallway, leaving Mike with an unsettling sense of foreboding. The group was silent, tension hanging heavy like a thick fog. "Are you okay?" Lily signed, her brows furrowed with concern. Mike nodded slowly, though he wasn't sure if he believed it. "Yeah, I just..." Suddenly, a renewed determination sparked inside him. "We can't let this get to us. We have to keep going, and if Kyle thinks he can shake us, he's got another thing coming." The group rallied behind him, the tension slowly giving way to renewed energy. As they refocused, ideas blossomed again, filled with laughter and vigor. Mike realized how essential their unity was. They were ready to face anything, even a stormy past. Yet amid the excitement, a nagging thought arose. What if the fire they ignited also attracted unwanted attention? As they began to formulate their plans, Mike felt the unease stirring again. The battle for acceptance wasn't just outside, they'd need to fight for it every day, and Kyle would make sure of that. "Let's meet tomorrow to finalize everything," Mike said, forcing himself to smile despite the uncertainty. "Together we can keep this flame alive." But as they dispersed, that shiver returned, reminding him they were not alone in this fight. How far would they really go? And what would happen when Kyle decided to strike back? Mike shuddered at the thought. Time was running out. The next day came far too quickly. Mike barely slept, worry gnawing at his thoughts like something hungry. The dream he'd hoped to be, a light flickered, shadows creeping in the corners of his mind. As morning broke, he found himself staring out the window, the soft colors of dawn not enough to chase away the heaviness. Lily was waiting for him at the park, her bright smile a beacon. She waved enthusiastically, her hands dancing in the air as she signed something he couldn't catch. Mike forced a smile back, but the knot in his stomach twisted tighter. He thought about Kyle's warning, the promise of pain. "Excited to plan?" she signed, a bounce in her step making it clear she was all in. Her spirit sparked warmth inside him, a reminder of why they were all fighting. "Totally," he replied, though his voice barely held the confidence he wanted. They gathered beneath the old oak, the leaves rustling like whispers. One by one, the others showed up. Jack came with legit ideas to decorate the space. Emma brought notes filled with encouragement. They huddled together, formulating plans that felt powerful, almost tangible. But even as laughter rose, a tension lingered in the air, a reminder that Kyle was lurking somewhere, plotting. As they talked about the event, Mike caught sight of a shadow at the edge of the park. There stood Kyle again, arms crossed, expression smug. Mike's pulse quickened. "What's he doing here?" he blurted out, already feeling the familiar heat of challenge rise within him. "Let him watch," Jack said, his own irritation bubbling to the surface. "He doesn't matter." "Right," Mike nodded, trying to channel confidence. Lily looked between Mike and Jack, a small frown creasing her forehead. Kyle sauntered closer, a cruel grin plastered on his face. "Still planning your little peace party? I mean, how charming. Just a bunch of misfits yearning for acceptance." His words dripped with disdain, each syllable sharp like glass. "Just because you can't understand what it means to be accepted doesn't mean it's not possible," Lily signed fiercely, stepping up in defense. The strength in her expression startled him. There was power in her words, a conviction that rippled through every one of them. "Oh, please," Kyle replied, swinging his gaze between each of them. "You think this will really work? I'm going to enjoy seeing each of you fail." Mike's heart pounded, rage pooling behind his eyes. "We won't fail. We're stronger together, and you can't break that." Lily nodded enthusiastically, her eyes sparkling with passion. "This is our moment." He felt a surge of energy, camaraderie sweeping through like a wave. They were united, and Kyle was just a shadow to be pushed back. But deep down, a flicker of doubt resurfaced. What if Kyle was right? What if things didn't go as planned? Then he remembered the warmth of yesterday's unity, the sparkle in Lily's eyes. "So what's your next move, Kyle? Going to stand there and watch?" "Pfft," "I'll be back," Kyle shot back, stepping away, his victory taunt lingering in the air. The group took a collective breath, tension dissipating slightly. Mike turned to his friends, determination entwined with fear. "This is more than a party. It's a fight for who we are. We have to prepare for anything." As the sun rose higher, Mike felt the stakes grow, and he leaned into the urgency that buzzed around them. They sketched out ideas, laughter mingling with resolve. Yet behind each smile was the pressing question of how to stand unbroken against the darkness Kyle represented. As they wrapped up, Mike felt a pulse of hope swell within his chest, but the fear of impending confrontation shadowed him. What would happen if they truly took a stand? And could they endure when the storm rolled in? The rally was just around the corner, and Mike couldn't shake the dread that tomorrow held. Would their bravery shine brighter than the shadows closing in? That question loomed, daring him to face whatever came next. Mike woke up the next morning feeling the weight of reality settle over him like a heavy blanket. As the sunlight poured into his room, he stared at the ceiling, the events of yesterday spiraling back into his mind. The anticipation for the rally clashed dramatically with the scenario Kyle had painted. A reality where they would fail, where they would be ridiculed. After a quick breakfast that barely registered in his thoughts, Mike grabbed his jacket and headed to the park. Today was the day. Today they would finalize everything. The rally would cement their resolve, and Mike's heart raced at the thought. Lily was already at the old oak tree, her figure illuminated in the morning light. She looked up as he approached, her face lighting up in a way that lifted some of the weight off his shoulders. "Ready?" she signed, bouncing on her feet. The vibrancy in her movement made it hard for him not to smile. "Yeah," he replied, his voice settling into a confident tone. "Let's do this." The others arrived, all wearing expressions that mirrored his own, hopeful yet anxious. They gathered in a tight circle, a sense of unity radiating among them. "All right," Jack began, pulling out a poster board covered in plans. "We have just a few hours before people start showing up. We need to finalize our goals and make sure we're sending a strong message." Each suggestion felt like building a bridge over all the chaos. Ideas flew around, layered with laughter and camaraderie. It felt good to be part of something bigger. The joys of childhood bubbled up as they imagined how the day would unfold, the joy of connection, the acceptance they yearned for. But as their excitement built, the image of Kyle lingered in the back of Mike's mind. A shadow always waiting. He couldn't help but speak up, the concern cutting through the exhilaration. "What if he shows up again? What if he tries to sabotage us?" Lily's face softened and she stepped in closer. "But that's why we're here, to show that we're stronger than his hate. If he comes, we'll stand united." Her fierce determination ignited a fire in Mike's chest. Maybe she was right. They had to believe in each other, to fight against the shadows. "Okay," he said, straightening his posture. "If he shows, we won't let him get to us. We're not just a group of misfits. We're more than that." The group nodded, and Mike felt comforted by their agreement, but it didn't silence the dread within. As they formulated their final plans, they could hear the distant sounds of music and laughter from the festival setting up in the nearby field. But then, just as they were wrapping up their detailed plans, a familiar figure walked into view. Mike's breath caught in his throat. Kyle. There he was, swaggering up with a group of friends, his smirk plastered across his face like a sick joke. Each step he took felt like a punch to Mike's gut, a reminder of the challenge awaiting them. "Looks like the losers are getting ready for their big show," Kyle called out, his voice dripping with mocking laughter. "Hope you've prepared for yet another failure." The laughter from Kyle's friends echoed around the park. It was a crack in their united front, a moment that made Mike's heart sink. But then he saw Lily, her jaw set sternly as she signed something that made Jack's brow furrow. "Let's show him who we really are," she signed, her resolve unshaken. The courage in her eyes sparked something in Mike. It was now or never. He stepped forward, feeling the pulse of energy in the air. "We're not afraid of you, Kyle. You can't control us. Today is our day." The group behind him echoed their agreement, voices lifting together like a banner of bravery. In that moment, fear collided with determination, and Mike found himself standing taller. What would happen when they finally faced Kyle? Would they be strong enough to deflect his taunts, or were the shadows too deep to fight? As tension hung heavy in the air, Mike's breath quickened again. The rally was on the horizon, but so was the confrontation. Would their beliefs hold strong when put to the test? Mike's heart raced as he stared down Kyle, the taunts cutting through the morning air like a razor. He could feel the tension thickening around them, his friend's eyes darting between him and Kyle, an unspoken agreement hanging in the balance. They had all come together for this moment, yet here they stood, staring down their biggest challenge. "Just ignore him," Mike murmured to the group, hoping to keep their focus. A tremor of uncertainty ran through him, but he refused to show it. Instead, he gathered his courage, remembering why they were here. They were fighting for something bigger than any of them could express in mere words. Kyle's laughter rang out, a harsh mockery that sent a shiver down Mike's spine. "You think today will change anything? You're still just a bunch of losers." His friends snickered, fueling the fire of fear in Mike's stomach. But Lily stepped forward, her presence like a shield against Kyle's venom. "Maybe," she signed, her expression resolute. "But today we show that we're not afraid to stand up for ourselves. We deserve to be heard." Her words were like a balm, soothing the frayed edges of Mike's anxiety, igniting a flame in his chest. "Yeah," Jack shouted, stepping next to Lily. "Why don't you do us all a favor and walk away? The world doesn't need your negativity." The group's energy surged, confidence washing over the tide of doubt. Together, they formed a barrier, a wall against the jabs and jeers that seemed to spring from Kyle's mouth like shards of glass. Kyle's smirk faltered just for a moment, surprise flickering across his face. It was a small victory, but one that felt monumental. Mike could see how his group was reinvigorated. Each person behind him was staring directly at Kyle, no longer afraid, ready to rise together. "Are we really going to let him ruin this?" Mike asked softly, locking eyes with Lily. She signed immediately, her fingers dancing with determination. "No. We will show them our strength." The distant sounds of the festival felt like a drum, signaling the start of their rally. They could see others gathering, their voices rising in excitement, blending into a singular purpose. Time was running out, and Mike could hear the call for them to stand firm. "Let's get started," Mike declared, a fresh wave of conviction bubbling up. "We don't need to let his words control how we feel." With that, they turned away from Kyle, linking arms, hearts beating together in a rhythm of solidarity. Slowly, Kyle's mocking laughter faded behind them as Mike led the way toward the heart of the park, where the crowd awaited. The world opened up before him, a tapestry of faces, young, old, all standing in anticipation. Fear still tugged at his heart, but it was overshadowed by a swell of hope. They would do this together as a single, unwavering force. They were more than misfits, more than targets for ridicule. They had a voice, and they were ready to be heard. As they stepped into the field where colorful banners were flying and laughter echoed, Mike spotted a small makeshift stage off to the side. This was their platform, a place where they could finally speak their truth. But a shadow loomed in the distance, and he caught sight of Kyle. Not alone anymore, he had drawn a crowd. And it wasn't just friends. There were faces in the throng that Mike recognized, the kids who had laughed at him, the ones who had walked past without a glance. Would they all stand against him? Would they witness the determination growing stronger in Mike and his friends? In that moment, Mike felt a shift. A feeling like electricity coursed through his veins. As they moved toward their stage, the voices behind him pulsing with energy, Mike closed his eyes, feeling the rush of purpose. The rally wasn't just about fighting Kyle's hate. It was about rewriting their own stories. What would happen when they took that stage? Would they manage to turn the tide of the crowd's judgment, or would it all slip away under the weight of fear? As the first speakers took the stage, Mike's heart pounded. It was time for them to show who they really were, and he knew deep down that this was only the beginning. The rally was in full swing as Mike stepped onto the makeshift stage, his heart pounding, not just with fear but with a vibrant thrill. There they were, hundreds of faces looking up at him, some curious, some skeptical, and some eager to hear their story. A mixture of excitement and anxiety bubbled within him. This was it. This was the moment they had worked hard for. Lily stood beside him, her energy radiating like the sun, fingers flying as she signed to the crowd. "Today is about acceptance," she declared passionately, and her voice danced through the air, pulling everyone in. The chatter from the crowd hushed, all eyes on her. Encouraged, Mike took a deep breath. "We want to share our stories," he began, his voice steadier than he expected. "Everyone here has struggled in their own way, and it's time we acknowledge that together." The words flowed out like a river breaking free from a dam. He scanned the sea of faces, some nodding, others whispering to each other. The tension that had filled the atmosphere with dread felt like it was lifting, replaced with palpable energy. His friends, standing behind him, looked alive, their hopes intertwining with his. As he spoke, he could see snippets of recognition in the crowd. A boy with downcast eyes, a girl biting her lip, all echoing the truths they shared. "We've faced our own battles, bullying, judgment, and fear, but none of that defines who we are." The group erupted into cheers and Mike's heart soared. This was the connection they had yearned for. This was unity. As the speakers took turns exchanging beautiful stories of resilience, Mike couldn't help but feel the past's weight lift off his shoulders. Kyle, lingering at the edge of the crowd, looked uneasy, but Mike refused to be distracted. They were proving a point far greater than Kyle's taunts. They were showing everyone that love could overcome hate. Then it was Lily's turn again. She signed passionately, fierce yet graceful, "We are not defined by what we can't do, but by how we rise together." Cheers erupted, voices of support cascading through the crowd. It was electrifying. But as Mike beamed at her spirited words, he spotted Kyle again. This time, with more friends surrounding him, their laughter rang harshly through the air. They were gathering, plotting, and fear trickled back into Mike's gut. The crowd was still buzzing with energy, but he could feel the shadows creeping back in. Suddenly, Kyle yelled out, disrupting the moment, "You call this a rally? More like a sorry spectacle. Your stories don't matter." The mockery slipped from his lips like acid, and for a moment, it strained against the celebration. The eyes of the crowd shifted between Mike and Kyle, tension snapping like a tightrope stretched too thin. Silence blanketed the rally as whispers floated through the audience. It was heavy, thick like fog, and Mike felt his heart drop. But Lily stepped forward with resolve. "Our stories matter. Each one of us deserves to be seen and heard." Her voice rang clear, a beacon piercing the dark. The room lit up again with passion, her fire igniting something powerful in each person present. "You might want us to hide, Kyle," she continued, "but we've found our voices and we will not be silenced." Mike felt warmth radiate through the gathered crowd, and suddenly, a unified roar of encouragement surged, drowning out the whispers. "We stand with you," a voice cried out, a ripple of shouts echoing around the park. "You're not alone." The tide had turned. Collective strength pushed against Kyle's negativity like waves against a rocky shore. Mike watched as several students stepped forward, joining Lily beside him, faces determined and bright. "Let's stand up for what we believe in," Jack shouted, his voice ringing loud and true. "Each of us deserves to take up space in this world." Mike felt a swell of pride, adrenaline buzzing through him like never before. This wasn't just about him or Lily anymore. It was about creating a community, a haven where everyone could be included. And then, unexpectedly, Kyle started retreating, the weight of the crowd's support seeping into his bravado. The sneer faded, and with that dwindling of confidence, something shifted in the air. "If you want to learn more, if you want to be a part of this," Mike shouted, glancing at all those eyes watching them, "come join us. Together, we can build a world where acceptance is the norm." And as he finished, a wave of applause flooded over them. They had turned the tide. The laughter of children, the cheers of solidarity, and even the warmth of the sun felt different now, infused with hope. As the energy of the crowd pulsed with electrifying joy, Mike's heart soared. He spotted a glimmer of remorse in Kyle's eyes before he disappeared into the crowd. Perhaps for now, this was enough. The past was still present, but they had learned to combat it with each other's strength. As the rally continued and laughter filled the air like confetti, Mike and Lily shared a knowing smile. They stood steadfast, anchored in a newfound sense of pride, ready to embrace whatever lay ahead. Together, Empowered and unwavering, they had ignited a flame that would blaze brightly no matter the darkness lurking beyond. United, they would continue to rise. This was just the beginning. Now is the moment to take action. You need to subscribe now to our channel to stay updated on these incredible stories. This is the moment to show your support. Leave a like to feed the algorithm and help us share these messages of transformation. Don't wait, not even one more second. Comment your feelings about this powerful conclusion and how it resonated with you. And share instantly with at least 5 friends who need to feel this inspiration. Your support means everything. Thank you.